Today I'll be showing you how to join in the round using circular needles. I'm using HiyaHiya 16-inch thick circulars, and this is the most common circular needle length for knitting something like a hat when it's just a bit too big for double-pointed needles. So I've just cast on enough stitches to go all the way around the needle. You don't want your stitches to be stretching, so just make sure that you have done enough to go all the way around. And you also want to make sure that your stitches aren't twisted at any point, so just make sure that they're all facing inwards with no twists around the needle, because this will create a twist in your knitting if you left it there. And then I also like to place a stitch marker on that tip, so I know where my first stitch is. You'd be able to tell this from where your yarn tail is, but as you do more and more rows, it becomes a bit harder to find, so using a stitch marker just makes it easier to see where that first stitch is and where you're going to finish a row. And then the easiest way to join in the round is literally just to knit into that first stitch, just like you would on straight needles, and then you can see that your stitches are joined. Then you can continue knitting any stitch you'd like, as long as you've cast on the right amount of stitches for the pattern you're following. You can do any stitch that you do on straight needles. I'm just going to knit all of these stitches to show you the results a bit quicker. Once you've done a full round, you can treat it like finishing a row on straight needles, and you don't need to swap hands or anything. You can just keep going and move on to your next row according to the stitch you're doing, and then just move that stitch marker back over to the other tip so that you don't knit it into your work, and that's how you knit in the round.